but our camera is got a red cross through it.
Yeah, that's just the Polycom with the connectivity.
Scott, has the hospital gotten, how's the electives coming? Are they picking up a little
It's
bit?
coming, yeah, it's actually coming along pretty well. It's, I think probably a little better than expected. I think they thought there'd be more resistance than there is. More people are ready to come in and get done what needs to be done.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Dude is waiting on me.
Oh, no, I'm just checking.
Yeah, fine.
All right, go ahead and start recording. Oh, declare the May 14th, 2020 Board of Commissioners meeting for Chippewa County. Pledge of Allegiance, if you would please, Commissioner Savoy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call, please. Ms. Melport.
Commissioner Egan. Commissioner McLean.
Here.
Commissioner Savoy.
Here.
Commissioner Shackleton.
Here.
And Chairman Martin.
Here. Next we have additions or deletions to the agenda.
Move approval of the agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion and support to accept the agenda as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Correspondence on page 6. As you can see there, we have a modicum of correspondence.
Missed item 5.
Oh, did it really? Oh, gosh, approval of last meeting, my bad. Motion to approve the minutes from.
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Correspondence received in clerk's office, page 6. Sorry about that. Just one. We have Eagle, Berrien County, Hiawatha Community Mental Health, Livingston County Board, UPTA meeting, and Delta Board of Commissioners. Anybody want to discuss any of those? We have a motion to forward these correspondence to the respective places.
So moved.
Motion to forward correspondence to the appropriate places. Support?
Yeah.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Public comment. Do we have, especially in Zoom, do we have any discussion or anybody want to contribute to the meeting? Going once? Public discussion going twice? And 3 times. Public comment will be closed. Administrator's report. Mr. Chairman, sir.
You'll see the various reports there. Besides that, everything has been instituted in the come back to work direction that the commission gave us. And a few complaints, but not bad. And we're still trying to find out, we're still working with some details, but it's going relatively smoothly. That's my report, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Any discussion of the administrator's report? Okay. New business, page 21, Superior District Library resignation. Do we have anyone who wants to make a motion to accept Mr. Hofnagel's resignation?
I'll make a motion that we approve his resignation, but also we delay the advertising till the stay-at-home order is lifted and the libraries are closed right now.
Sure. Do we have support for that?
I support.
Amended motion. So we have a motion to accept the resignation of Mr. Hufnagel. and delay the replacement of said position until the shelter in place, or shelter home order is lifted, and the library is back open.
Okay.
Any discussion of that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes, and pass along Mr. Huffnagel our thanks for his service. Resolution 2020-09, special tribute to employees of Chippewa County, especially in these tough times.
Mr. Chair, may I make a comment here?
Most certainly, sir.
I have to take my hat off to the employees of the Chippewa County, especially our first responders, our road patrol, those people who rotated through the courthouse when we weren't sure really what was going on. I think they've done a remarkable job, and their dedication has been second to none. And I certainly do appreciate the crews that I work with.
Thank you.
Do we make a motion yet?
Go ahead.
I would move passage of resolution 2020-09.
Support.
Motion and support for special tribute and thank you to the employees of Chippewa County. This will be a roll call vote.
Commissioner McLean,
Yes.
Commissioner Savoy,
Yes.
Commissioner Shackleton,
Yes.
and Chairman Martin.
All right? Next, we have standing committee reports. That would be Commissioner Savoy, Finance, Claims, and Accounts Committee.
Finance, Claims, and Accounts Committee meeting minutes of May 7th, 2020. Members present, all commissioners were present. Absent was Connor Egan. Approval of the agenda was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Shackleton to approve the agenda as presented on voice vote. The motion carried. I would so move.
We don't need to do anything for that.
Okay. Public comment, I think we had 3 people speaking as listed. Correspondence, information items, no action. Agenda items, Health Department, FYE 2019 audit presentation. It was moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner Martin, to accept and approve the FYE 9/30/2019 audit of the Chippewa County Health Department, to authorize its distribution. On voice vote, motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion made, supported. Any discussion?
That's his.
That's okay. We're good. She's got,
I might have
any,
myself.
any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Health Department pink ribbon 20-01, $1,920.62. Moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Martin, to approve and authorize pink ribbon request. On voice vote, the motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion on Health Department pink ribbon? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Central Dispatch, Stone Garden Grant and Chippewa County Emergency Declaration Extension, moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner Martin, to approve and authorize signatures for the Operation Stone Garden Grant Agreement and the required documentation noted above, and to extend the Chippewa County Emergency Declaration an additional 28 days. On a voice vote, motion was carried. I will move.
Support?
Motion and support for Central Dispatch, Stone Garden, and Chippewa County Emergency Declaration. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Public Defender, MIDC, Indigent Defense Budget. Was moved by Commissioner Martin, supported by Commissioner McLean, to approve the proposed MIDC Indigent Defense Budget as presented. Total budget $523,793.20. On voice vote, the motion carried. I would move.
Support?
Motion and support for the Indigent Defense Budget. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Register of Deeds, electronic recording, moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Shackleton to approve and authorize Register of Deeds, Sharon Kennedy, to sign the MOU contracts with CSC, E10, and electronic recording procedures as presented, and to authorize Rod Kennedy to sign future MOUs for e-recording if necessary. On a voice vote, the motion carried, I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support for electronic reading registered deeds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Animal control, remove and install kennel gates, $4,900, moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Shackleton, to approve the quote to Celestino Services LLC to complete the gate work at the animal shelter. On a voice vote, the motion carried, I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support to approve the quote to Celestino Services to fix animal shelter gates. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Administration county staffing return to work. After a very, very lengthy discussion, it was moved by Commissioner Shackleton, supported by Commissioner McLean, that the county will continue to phase staff back to full-time effective May 11, 2020. All staff who are currently working remotely and/or on rotation within their offices shall return. Those employees will have the option to furlough if requested due to COVID-19 issues. Employees will be encouraged to wear cloth face masks if able. The buildings will remain closed to the general public except by appointment or scheduled court hearings until opened by the state of Michigan on a voice vote. Motion carried, I would so move.
Motion
Support.
and support to bring back our county employees. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Administration, COVID-19 preparedness and response plan. Again, it was discussed. It was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Martin, to approve the COVID-19 preparedness and response plan as presented, and having administration continually review and to add or suspend parts of the plan as necessary. The motion on the voice vote, the motion carried, I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support on a preparedness plan for COVID-19. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Finance and claims and accounts, moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Martin, to recommend the approval of the April county bills and payroll claims and health department claims. On the voice vote, the motion carried, I would so move.
Motion support and support to pay the bills. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Committee and chairman comments and adjourned. It was moved by Commissioner Martin, supported by Commissioner Shackleton to adjourn. I would so move that we accept the minutes as read.
Support.
Motion and support to accept the minutes as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, Commissioner reports on meetings as board representatives and general comments. Sir, Commissioner McLean?
I came across a piece of information, and maybe you're already familiar with it. It's some kind of hazard pay that's being offered by the state.
It's
You're familiar with that?
supposed to be automatic, I believe, right, Kelly?
The hazard pay?
Yeah.
It hasn't been approved at the legislature yet. But
No, it hasn't been approved yet.
Right, it's proposed.
yeah. Okay, I just wanted to mention that it's out there for consideration. We'll see what happens with it.
I think it was like, proposal was $500, I believe.
$13 an hour.
Is that for state employees?
Yeah.
It's
For
Meanwhile, they're talking about laying off about 65,000 of them or something?
essential workers is what they classified it as, so.
Is that Michigan, or are you talking about the HEROES Act?
Well, this is, I
No,
believe,
it's in
Michigan.
Michigan.
Michigan, okay.
I just thought it was interesting.
Yes, sir, Commissioner
I'd
Sewell?
like to mention, just in the last week or two, I've had several calls from township officials regarding recycling, the services or lack of service. You know, they've been unable to get a recycling trailer in their townships, and little bit of grumbling about having to pay the millage, and not having any service. I know we can't do anything about it, but I want to make everyone aware of that. I'm getting calls in my district anyway.
Yes, sir.
And to take up on that with Mr. Savoy, I've also had a couple of calls. Scott and I do sit on that board, the advisory board portion of it. The reason that was given to me by Mr. Krupta, is that his name, Joe? Krupa, is that they used to bring an empty one out and take the full one back. Now they have to bring the full one in and they have to quarantine it for 3 to 4 days or something like that until they're sure there could be no corvid in there. So they don't have enough trucks to be running it all in and out, and was his reason for doing that. Now, what I found interesting, Scott, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, but them shutting down and them doing all these new plans was certainly not done by the advisory board. So I guess it had to be done by the other part of that board?
Well, I don't know. I don't know who made the decision, you know, but, you know, the advisory board really isn't setting day-to-day policies.
Right.
It's more big picture policies, so, it could have been administratively, or it could have been through Northern Transitions, I don't know. Yeah. But they, you know, and not to take away from any of the concerns of people inconvenienced by that, but I immediately thought about the fact that we continue to pay 10 cents on returnable cans and we can't take cans back. And, you know, people have cans and bottles piling up all over the place, and, you know, it's just not a great situation.
I even Googled Sault Ste. Marie, see if there's any bottle and can places where you could donate them, and when they, you know, do open up, someone could cash them in, but I couldn't find any.
There's, I know on Facebook, I've seen where a few organizations are volunteering to pick them up as a fundraiser, you know, for their organization. So if that wouldn't be too hard to find somebody that's willing to take it, I don't think.
And recycle.
Then they gotta find some place to store it, but.
And recycle on certain days, right now, we took a bunch of cans back the other day, like.
Yeah, you won't get a deposit, but you can recycle them.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think it's Thursdays and Fridays right now, you can go to the recycling center.
yeah, yeah.
I had a neighbor had been into recycling. We live close enough to the Sioux that it's just, we just use the Sioux service. And she indicated that it had gone really smoothly. She was impressed with, because I expected there to be huge lineups and stuff like that, but they say they have people out directing traffic and so on and so forth, so it's a fairly orderly situation. The only thing that was of concern is the perennial problem of people not sorting the stuff before they get there. So they pull up and then they start sorting it out here and there and running, taking more time than what they need to. But she was impressed that it was up and running and that it functioned quite well.
The first week they opened, I think it was a pretty big line, but even by the second week, it was going a lot more smoothly.
It's good, good.
I guess the thing I look at is with what's going on in the country right now, in the world right now, we're gonna be inconvenienced. I mean, and all we have to do is think back of, you know, World War II and the inconvenience that our grandparents had for 4 years. And we're whining about, you know, 4 months. We have to keep things in line that, in mind that on average, 1,000 people are dying every day in this country from and it hasn't hit here, and praise God, I guess, because, I mean, we've been really, really lucky here. We've been really smart, though, too. We've done some good things here, and I was kind of concerned yesterday, and I went into the home improvement place to get a new vanity, because, well, things are gonna break. Now's the time to do it. But long story short is 15 people in that building, not one mask, not one. Which, and I get it. There seems to be none here. I'm just worried that it's gonna come in a tidal wave. We've been really, really lucky, but we've been really, really smart. And people have stayed home, and people have taken precautions, and people have stepped up. The president said it about every day last week, as the American people have taken care of business, at least where we're concerned. And we'll let other people end up where they end up. But we just need to be smart here, so that we can keep opening up our businesses, and we can keep expanding our economy. Because Lord knows, tourism season is here. And we'll see how that goes. But keep your guard up as best you can. Anybody else?
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, gosh, absolutely. Do I have a second?
Support that.
Support? All in favor? 21 minutes.
Nicely done.
You would have had us out in 15.
Wow, yeah. We got our money's worth of you working in the chairs.